In this video, we're going to talk about the Bloodletter versus Spawn. And this is a fight that they go all out, and you'll see how it goes down at the end of it. Alrighty then, this is a comic book review of Bloodletter, issue number 4, brought to you by RatedComics. Let's get to it. So previously in Bloodletter, Tasha has gathered the items she needed from the Scorched. Now it's time to kill a Hell Spawn. So in New York City now, Spawn goes into this monologue that someone is sending him a message at the place where he returned to the world years ago after he was sent to Hell, after he was murked, made a deal with Malboja, and sent back to Earth. So Spawn goes into his earpiece and tells Jessica Peace that he's here and there's demon blood in the mixture. What is your intel saying? And Jessica tells him, something's wrong, Al. Get out of there. And before Al can get out of there, these rats swarm him, and they swarm all over him, envelop him, but he gets them up off of them. But by the time he does it, it's almost like it leaves him weaker. So Jessica Priest in the earpiece tells Spawn, I told you it's her. It's before she can say Tasha Thornwall. Well, she's already there to greet him, and Spawn's like, okay, hello, what's up, Thornwall? I'm impressed. And she's ready to do the business. And Tasha's like, I don't care. I'm here to do one thing and one thing only, which is going to leave me smiling tonight. As she slits his throat and tries to pierce him, Spawn's cloak puts up the defense mechanism, and Spawn uses his necrobleed to blast her back. But she's determined to put him in the dirt for what he did to her in Bloodletter issue number 1. Hey, I did cover that. Check it out. But in other words, Tasha had a mission, she did not fulfill it, and Spawn was sent in by Jason Wynn to do it in Haiti. So as she's doing the work, she goes into her monologue. Do you have any idea what it takes to kill the devil? It's unimaginable, but I've traveled through the bowels of this world, seen its terrors. I've learned that if you could survive in its darkness, you could imagine anything. So they're going at it, and she's going into her spells, saying her spells. I'm not even going to try to repeat those spells right there, but this orange ray of light Spawn is having some trouble with, and she keeps going. Even though Spawn's having some trouble with it, it seems like Tasha is going into the ground, but for what? And this is pissing Spawn off, like, come on girl, face me face to face. But Spawn puts her into the ground, as so it seems. Now she emerges with all this ferocity and vengeance and strength, going through buildings. And Spawn stops her right in her track mid-air, is like, enough of your damn spells. So Tasha's like, the devil puts his fingers on me. But when he does that, she bites a few of them off. And that's gotta be painful for Spawn. But she's gonna use those fingers later. So as they fall down into what it looks like Central Park, Spawn's like, it's time we end this now, Thornwall. And she comes down from the air too, and she's pissed, like all feeling herself, like, is that all you got? Let's continue this, let's do this. I thought you were a badass mofo, but here, let me show you how I work. And she goes in aggressively with Spawn and tells him, come get some love. It ain't the kind of love, it's toxic love. But as she slices a blade to try to kill him, Spawn teleports to the back of her, and he uses his cloak and gives her a deck in the face. But she realizes she has to move faster, she has to stay on the offensive, and she has to hit and keep hitting him until he falls to his damn knees. So she headbutts him, and yeah, it leaves a mark on Spawn right there, and it definitely left a mark on him. So she's throwing it down, putting it down. She's using another spell to summon the dead to kind of pin Spawn down, slow him down so she can go in for the kill. So now she's summoning her weapon as all those dead people that she summoned envelop Spawn or cover him. From the talisman of the Scorch to the blood of an angel she's referencing in issue number 3 when she had a Casper and used her blood, and now the fingers of a Hellspawn. She's taking everything she needs and all the things that she got from the Scorch in the previous issue, and the witch jar, which that's in the previous issue too, all these weapons to kill her nightmare and finally deliver her justice. So she goes in for the swoop, goes in for the kill, and she tells Spawn, die, just die. Impales him, and yeah, we gotta take a look at that image. That's pretty badass right there. But as she impales him and just leaves it, and all this burden leaves out of her because she impales him and just sits there for a minute like, is the deed done? It's finally done. A breath of fresh air, finally, like all this orange light leaving out of her, because she did what she had to do in her eyes, or so she thought. She turns around in shock and Spawn's like, you think it's that easy? It's not. You act like I'm still a man. I haven't been the man you have a vendetta against for a long time. I am Spawn. But you, says Spawn, and he hits her with some cold, hard facts. You're on your way to being damned, just like me, driven by revenge. You destroyed my life, says Tasha, and I gotta destroy you. And Spawn's like, no, you did that to yourself. You played yourself when you put your own morality above the job. He's referencing issue 1, but he's also giving her a cold hard truth about now. How many times did you sell your soul trying to blame this on me? Want to know how this ends? I'll tell you how this ends, said Spawn. It doesn't. It never ends, and we see Spawn's life flash. Casket, Wanda, Terry Fitzgerald, Jessica Priest right there who murked him. Well, even though it was Chapel originally, but because of character rights, they had to change it to Jessica Priest, and then Malboja, and then his daughter Cyan. Spawn's life just flashes in front of his eyes as he's explaining the story, and he tells Tasha, this is the abyss, Thornwall, where you lose everything. You shouldn't have come out the shadows and exposed yourself like that. And she gets pissed and she tries to go in, but Spawn's like, look, I was playing with my food earlier. I'm gonna stop your fists right there because game over. Spawn tells her, I understand your anger. And she's like, you don't know a damn thing about me. But she tries to shoot him in the head, but as you can tell, nothing happens. And Spawn tells her, they're gonna come for you now, Thornwall. Every one of your enemies. Look around. It's not going to be like this forever. They're going to come. And you don't have any friends left because everyone you murked or everyone you did wrong to try to get to me, they're all going to come back. And we see Casper right there being unzipped. And Tasha did Casper dirty when Casper wanted to help. If you don't remember, check out Bloodletter issue number 3. So Casper wakes up and is told, you're weak, you're almost out of blood. And Casper's like, where am I? Heaven. This is, of course, your heaven. And the guy tells her, now let's get to work. We've got some sins to count. And that is the end of Bloodletter issue number 4, where Bloodletter versus Spawn. So that is a crazy issue because the fight between her and Spawn is pretty dope, but it came at a cost. Revenge always comes at a cost. Now we're going to have to see what's going to happen with Casper and how this series is going to conclude. I believe it concludes in the next issue. But what you guys think of the comic book, comment below, let me know. And also link in description if you wish to add this comic book and or any of our other limited print Rated Comics exclusives to add to your comic book collection. Support the art, support the industry. With all that being said, thank you again for watching. Until the next upload.